Well, it's really disappointing for us to go out there and have such a hard time getting in this game. The things happened early enough to got us behind, and it just felt like we just needed to hang and keep going and stay close. And the game got away because we couldn't score enough. And so there's big plays that are happening to us that just have to be solved. We have to get the kicking game cleaned up. We can't let this happen. And with the blocks and the significant field changes, they're just huge to deal with. So you couple that with with a couple turnovers. I think one of them was really obviously questioned. It was a huge play in the game when we're down there going in and the ball gets tipped up in the air and they catch it. And the guy sitting in the neutral zone, I'm pretty sure. You guys would know better if you've seen it. But we have to overcome that kind of stuff, and we just don't seem to be able to find the way to do that yet. We believe we're going to be much better than this. Well, the coaches do and the players do, and we feel like we can prove it by the way we're working and the way we're preparing and all. But you got to take it to the game, and we've not got that done enough in the last couple of weeks here. That's just the Commanders game, this game, were similar in that we just couldn't get out of our own way enough. So we got a lot of work to do. I mean, we have to keep believing, and we have to keep proving it. And the young guys that got a chance to play today will be better for it in the long run of it. But we need to get our guys back out there too, and the guys to go to. And so we'll see how we can do next week. We'll start all over again.
Pete, I think at one point they were 8 or 9 on third down.
Yeah.
And that's just obviously that's going to lead to bad stuff. There was one on a 3rd and 12 when the game's 3-0. I think you guys were leading.
Yeah.
How much of a backbreaker is it?
Yeah, they were 7 for 8 in the first half. And they were able to get their conversions. We had calls, and you have game plan things that you're trying to get done, and they out executed us in the throwing and catching part of it, and we weren't able to get off the field, and that's why they sustained their drives, and they only had a few in the second half, but that was the issue. I mean, the stat line is, it's an even looking game. If you would never think the score would be like that by looking at the stat line, and on almost any aspect of it, from run to pass to penalties, you name it. So inside of that, though, the game is we have to get off the field. We've got to make our plays when we get our chances, and we got to stay away from the extremely big plays that happen, the punt block and losing the ball on the interception down there. So those things are so significant that they're factoring into the game.
Obviously, multiple people didn't perform well, but was there any consideration to going with Kenny at all?
Yeah, I was thinking that if there was a reason to do that, but here's the reason why I didn't do that. We need to stay out there and keep practicing. We need to keep practicing. We need the reps. We need the turns. We need to run the system. We need to feel it. We need to see the guys get their opportunities to improve. It's not like a big change. I thought about it, because there was a chance to do that. It's the same thing with Max. I was going to get Max out of there, and I'm fighting with him. He wants to play, but that's normal. But that's not what's necessary. We need to get better and get right. So these are the games that we're working on, and these are the games we have to learn from and grow from, so that we can change the course of the way things are going. And there's nobody in there that doesn't feel like that. And so we're going to go right back at it again.
Is Geno, do you feel like he's pressing at all at this point? And how do you?
I don't know if that's your word. I think it's hard. Yeah, I think it's been hard. It hasn't been easy. It's been tough to get the big plays in the last couple of weeks, and they give you the easy scores. Even go back to the Commanders game. We exploded a bunch of times in that game, and so it just makes things. All of those other plays you don't have to call in between there. But. It's hard, and he cares so much, and it's so important to him to try to come through for everybody else, and he wants to play well and all that. You just have to, in my mind, you have to wash out the ball that gets tipped. That play shouldn't have happened and should never have been there. And so we throw the ball into a little coverage there, and another time the guy gets the pick. But you can't make excuses for him. You just got to live with it and grow and see if we can eliminate him.
In regards to Brock, I know you had expectation that he could have played it.
Yeah, I thought he would.
What changed within the Friday?
He just didn't. We were going to rest him all the way through the week, and he thought, we all thought that was going to make a difference. But as he got down to it on Saturday, he couldn't feel it. He couldn't get right, and so kind of happened with Stokesy too. Stokes, he practiced during the week and got through it. but it just didn't. His knee didn't respond well enough to feel like he can go 1,000 miles an hour out here on game day. So, a little wishful thinking, a little, optimism, relentless optimism, might have caught us a little bit there. And if Brock could have played, he would have. If Stokes could have played, he would have. And we thought that by resting them, it would make a difference, and we didn't get as much out of that as we'd hoped.
You guys in there were talking leadership, the importance of it right now more than ever. How confident are you that they're the leaders in that locker room to where this can't?
I have no problem. I have no hesitation in telling you that. There's enough guys that have been around their own places or been around with us, and guys that we know well. That's not the issue.
Is there any update on Jermaine?
Yeah, just decided to go with the other guys.
What did you see on the first drive you guys had? Was that the tone you were trying to set,
Yeah.
and then what made it?
Yeah, I think it was 2nd and 3, and we got sacked, and we got knocked out of, and then we wound up 3rd and 12 or something like that. It was just unfortunate. I don't know about the play in particular, why that, why we cut. We didn't really cut a guy loose. We got covered up a little bit, and he had to hold it, and then it worked against us. Unfortunately, that would have been obviously a great drive to consummate that. I don't know. It must have been 7 or 8 minutes, or 8 or 9 minutes, or whatever it was. It was perfect, really. And then we get a big play and we get knocked out. So 3 points was all it was, which at the time you think, okay, we moved football, we felt good about it. And it was a very good opening drive. But then you look at it took a long time to ever get another point.
What kind of conversations do you and the coaching staff have with Geno now, just moving forward from this game?
We're all in this thing together, and it's, we talk through all of the hard conversations about things we might not agree with, and then the things we agree with, and we'll just put it together and just keep working. The intention and the purpose is connected, and we just have to get the results that comes out of that, and make sure we're making clear decisions, the right ones, the right choices, working with our, particularly the experienced players, the guys that have an opinion and they know a lot, and G's one of those guys.
For you, you came in here with expectations of winning games this year. How are you processing what's happened?
I'm processing it poorly. I'll tell you the truth, because I did expect to win right out of the chutes, but what I'm seeing and what I'm feeling is I know by the way we're working, because I've watched a lot of teams work and develop your system, your belief in it, and knowing who you can count on and who you can trust and all of that. That is ongoing, and it feels like we're going in a good direction in that sense. It's not showing up here. Don't forget last week we had the winning drive. We go down the field, kick field goal, win the game. Okay, that was last week. It was 1 point. It feels like a million miles away from that. But that was that week. And then this week is a whole different situation. And this was the result was very similar to the Commanders game. So. Hoping we go back home, we play right again, and we get a game going and get moving. It's going to start sometime, and then I'm just kind of waiting for that moment where we kick it in, we have the answers, we make the right choices, we make the right plays, the right calls. It's on us, all of us. It's not on the players. It's on all of us to get that right. Myself totally included in all of that, and then we go, and that's how I've always seen it. And I thought it would be last week at home. I thought that we'd go on the road and we're going to get it done this week. And I'm going to keep thinking that way. I told them I'm going to keep believing, and I hope that you guys will do the same thing until we get this thing right.
That this injury's gotten worse and could lead to him missing more time outside of this game.
I don't know. I got to talk to the guys about that. I don't know about that. This was just couldn't quite get it done. On Saturday's walkthrough was really when he said, I don't have it, So, well, it's day to day. Sorry.
Guys good? Thanks, Coach.
Walk us through, what do you think happened today? Not necessarily just with you, but with the entirety of the team, please.
Yeah, I think we lost the game today. We lost one game today, so that's a good thing. But I think we didn't execute the way we're supposed to. It's the reality of it. We got to fix it. We got to get better. We got to go to work and figure it out.
Specifically, how do you fix those things, Geno?
Work harder, study longer, and, band together, become a tighter group. And I think we're already a tight group, but we got to get tighter as a group. And guys have got to lock in. I mean, it's a tough game. It's a one play at a time game, and they're going to face a tough team every week, man. That's the NFL. There's not going to be any easy game. So we got to get it in our mind that we're going to go out and win the game, and we're going to get it done. And until we do that, we'll have the same results.
Are you more resolved in that at this point, rather than discouraged? Like, because it would be easy maybe to feel like this is a really uphill climb.
Man, I'm never discouraged. I think you guys know that about me. I don't have it in my body to be down or feel bad or feel sad. I don't have no pity in me. I'm gonna grind it out and I'm gonna figure it out. That's just how I am. Again, if something don't look right out there, put it on me. Offense, defense, special teams. If it ain't looking right, it's on me. So I'm gonna figure it out.
You guys were in a really good rhythm early. Got the first drive of the game. It seemed like you were building something. How difficult is it to not be able to build off that? How tough is that?
Like I said, it's a one play at a time game, and what you do on the previous down does not matter. You got to stay in the moment. You got to execute in the moment, one play at a time. Nothing you did the last game, last season, last week, in practice, none of that stuff matters, man. It's about executing on game day, getting to the game, one play at a time, doing your job. Every guy, all 11, doing their jobs on all sides of the ball, and taking the approach that we're going to get it done. There is nothing else that matters. This is the big boy leagues. This is the NFL. It's the best of the best. And you got to go out there and you got to get it done. And like I said, until we figure that out, we're going to have the same results.
You mentioned not getting too down after a game like this. What are the emotions after a game like this then?
My emotions is always solution based. I'm looking at how can we be better? How can I be better for my guys? There's a lot of ways, There's a lot of ways, and I'm taking the approach that I have to do those things and be active and making the right choices and doing all the right things. So getting with the guys and figuring out how can I be better for them? How can I help them more in games? How can I help them more in the huddle? Again, this is a process, man. Like, I've seen this so many times. I remember when Jared Goff, it doesn't matter, but I remember when he went to the Lions and that whole process. Man, this is a process. It's process-driven, and a lot of time people focus on the results. But you can have good results sometimes with a bad process, and it'll catch up to you. And so we got to tighten down our process, and then the results that we want, they'll be there. But it's a process-driven game, and you got to focus on the process.
I saw you in the locker room right now talking with Pete a little bit. Can you share any of what you guys were talking about? Or?
That exact thing, the process, and how do we, really do what we're supposed to do throughout the week to make sure when we get into the game, it's clear for every single player. Everybody knows their assignment. They knows what they have to do. You're going to get beat sometimes. Like I said, it's the NFL. There's great guys all around. But the key is the down-to-down consistency, right? All of us, not anyone. I'm not pointing any fingers. Myself, I'm talking about the down-to-down consistency. We make splash plays, right? We got explosive plays. We'll do great things in spurts, but it's not consistent enough, and so that's where we're failing at.
When you say put it on you, I have a question. Your effort's there, but when you're throwing interception, are you almost pressing too hard? Are you trying too hard? What do you think you're doing?
I mean, you saw the first one. The ball got tipped up in the air. It was a guy wide open in the back of the end zone. It's been a touchdown. I saw 2 or 3 of their balls get tipped up in the air. And it's just, you got to go through the process, man. Like, again, the result is what the result was, and we hate it, and I hate it the most. But, again, the process is what I'm focused on. I feel like I did the right thing on that play. I threw it to the open guy, and it wasn't the result that I wanted. Well, am I going to say, well, don't read it the same way, don't throw it to the open guy? No, I'm going to throw it to the open guy. And 9 times out of 10, hopefully it's a touchdown. That one time it was tipped in the air and was an interception. The other one is a classic zone coverage. They're blitzing off the slot, playing cover 2. We got, a option route. God knows he's got to push up and sit. He's got to be quick. I mean, this is the NFL. Again, we're playing. I got a rookie receiver. We got to develop him. We got to learn. And it's not Dante's fault. It's not anyone's fault. It's life. And so what I'm doing here is I'm learning a lot, through these experiences. And as I go through life, I really enjoy that part of it, is that the experiences are what's going to make me better. So somewhere down the line, we're going to look back at this and say, those moments made us better.
In the locker room, Devin White said part of his process is get into the plane and look at the film and then start to see where you can finish. I'm wondering for you, what is the first step of your process?
I watch a ton of film. I'm studying film. I'm hitting the weights. I'm meeting with the guys. Again, like, we got some young players playing, and we got to develop these guys, and they've got to learn, like what I'm saying, it's a down-to-down, every down game, and every down is critical. You get 60-some plays in the game on offense, every single one of those plays are critical. You don't know which play is going to be the game winner, and so you got to focus, and it's got to be elite focus, and I think that's where we're growing, we're learning, and for me, as the quarterback of this team, I hate where we are as far as the record. I hate, how it looks. But, again, it's about the process. And you know, the outside world is the outside world. They can never get to me. But on the inside, I know what we're doing here, and we just got to stay focused.
So you talked about the down consistency on the play with Dante. Looked like you were talking to him, maybe a little frustration, but you're having some words with him. How much can he learn, and how much can you teach him of how important every single play is to do exactly what you have to do to avoid those things happening?
Yeah, I mean, we all got to learn. You know, I said it's not on Dante. I threw the ball, so it's not on Dante. The interception never goes to the receiver; it goes to the quarterback. So it's not on him. It's a learning experience for all of us. And again, man, like, we're all learning, and we all can learn from that. And, yeah, we're going to be frustrated. I'm competing. I want to win more than anything. And, yeah, I'm going to be frustrated if it doesn't look right. But I'm not going to sulk on it. I'm not going to cry about it. Again, I'm going to try to find a solution and work with the guys to get better.
All right. Thanks, Geno. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Geno.